First person shooter mode. We turning your song to a funeral. To them niggas that say they want office, you better be talking about working in cubicles. Yeah, them boys had a lot, but I knew the code. A lot of niggas debating my numero. Not the 3, not the 2 on the UNO. Yeah. Numero UNO. Me and Drizzy, this shit like the Super Bowl. Man, this shit done it big as the... Big as the what? Big as the what? Big as the what?
Big as the Super Bowl, but the difference is it's just two guys playing shit that they did in the studio. Niggas usually send their verses back to me and they be terrible, just like a 2-year-old. I love a dinner with some fine women when they start debating about who the GOAT. I'm like, go ahead, say it then. Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Who you bitches really rooting for? Like a kid that had bad from January to November, nigga, it's just you and Cole.
Big as the what? Big as the what? Big as the what?
Big as the Super Bowl.
Niggas so thirsty to put me in beef. Dissecting my words and start looking too deep. I look at the tweets and start sucking my teeth. I'm letting it rock cause I love the mystique. I still wanna give me a song where I be. Can't trust everything that you saw on IG. Just know if I diss you, I make sure you know that I hit you like I'm on your caller ID. I'm naming the album to fall off. It's pretty ironic cause it ain't no fall off for me. Still in this bitch getting bigger. They waiting on the kid to come drop like a father to be. Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it K-Dot, is it Aubrey or me? We the big 3 like we started a league. But right now I feel like Muhammad Ali. Yeah, Muhammad Ali, the one that they call when they shit ain't connecting no more. Feel like I got a job in IT. Rhyming with me is the biggest mistake. The Spider-Man meme is me looking at Drake. It's like we recruited your homies to be demon deacons. We got them attending your wake. Hey, how the gang got away from the bars, man, this shit like a prison escape. Everybody steppers with fucking and everybody breakfast, and I'm about to clear off my plate. When I show up, it's motion picture blockbuster. The GOAT with the golden pen, the top toucher, the spot rusher. Spray this whole shit up, the crop duster. Not Russia, but apply pressure to your cranium. Cold's automatic when aiming them. With the boy in the status of stadium. Nigga. Hey, I'm about to. Yo. I'm about to click out on this shit, I'm about to click. I'm about to click out on this shit, I'm about to click. I'm down to click out on these hoes, make a crime scene. I click the trigger on a stick like a high beam. And I was Benny Will Whip when I was 19. She called my number, leave her hanging, she got dry clean. She got her Android, her messages is lime green. I search one name and end up seeing 20 teams. Nadine, Christine, Justine, Kathleen, Charlene, Pauline, Claudine. Man, I pack them in this phone like some sardines. And they send me naked pictures, it's the small things. You niggas still taking pictures on a golf stream. My youngest richer than you rappers and they all stream. I really hate that you been selling them some false dreams. Man, if your pub was up for sale, I buy the whole thing. Will they ever give me flowers? Well, of course not. They don't wanna have that talk cause it's a sore spot. They know the boy, the one they got a boycott.
What's good, man? What's good? So today I'm actually here to give some pretty good yap and actually some pretty good information. So for a lot of people, right? Look, bro, face cam is gonna be a bit rough. Wait, let me see if I can actually get a better one before, because this is a decently good yap, I'd say. Not just yap though, but it's good to gauge out to see what people feel about it, then report back. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, let me post on my camera. Oh no, let me see if this looks smoother. Give me a sec, y'all. You streaming in the sun? Bruh, it's cause like I said, my camera isn't good at really handling that sort of thing. Just give me a second. Oh, it's not on the internet? Hold on, y'all. But yes, today's yap and actually discussion is probably on what will likely be like the next Luminant. So I'm like, it's not really clickbait this time around. So bear with me while I connect my better camera so I can get a better yap. And it's a little bit late, I ain't gonna lie. Not much to talk about Deepwoken. It's honestly just been a whole lot of waiting, you know what I mean? Just a whole lot of waiting and hoping they cook up hopefully soon. Okay, there we go. Let's see how this looks. There we go. That's way, way better. Okay, guys. So as I was saying, right? Dude, this is what's it called? So this is not about Central Luminant. Oh, is it lagging? No, don't tell me it's lagging. Yo, is it lagging still, bruh? I don't know why. I don't know why it's so sorry. Chat, I don't know why it's so sorry. Look at that. Oh nah. It is what it is, bro. We're just gonna have to wait till I get back to my home PC, man. This is embarrassing. Anywho, right. Now, as I was saying, right, what is today's topic? Well, luckily for the first time in a bit, I'm gonna be able to pull out the Paint 3D and basically explain what the next Luminant will likely be. And dude, it's been so long because I actually managed to pull out the thing, but thank goodness, because I actually want to explain and give just a few yap ideas, but explain the idea, right? And it's very simple, actually, very, very simple concept on what the next Luminant is likely going to look like or feel like, right? Still a little bit too loud. There we go. Okay, now anywho, let me bust out the paint, right? So, I want to talk about War Mode version 2. What was War Mode version 2 really supposed to be, and what I talked about recently, right? So let me pull out the window capture and pull out the paint.net. Perfect. Hope you guys can see the background, right? So it's really as simple as this, right? Originally, War Mode version 2, the idea was, right, that it was going to be the ability to join up like almost like an instanced area where it's like, or like a new era where you're able to have 40 players in a server, right? 40 players in a server. And generally speaking, the idea would be like, okay, you can just do War Mode here, and then like after that, you know, you're probably just able to leave. But after discussing a little bit more, the War Mode version 2 isn't probably just going to be like War Mode version 2. The entire idea is like, this could be the PvP Luminant, right? A Luminant with the old Conquest map, and let me tell you, the old Conquest map was basically just like a giant, yes, I mean giant, one big island, right? One giant island with like a bunch of spots. That is the area where you saw all those old Conquest leaks. Let's go ahead and take a look at those Conquest leaks so you guys get a better understanding of what it looks like. And I'll explain to you that that map is not what is going to be the map that ends up being used for Conquest if it ever drops in the future, right? So let me go ahead and pull this out. It's gonna take me a while to find this. Yeah, so like there's like very, here it is, I found it, right? So this was from a year ago almost, which is kind of crazy to say, but take a look. And this is from a year ago, right? Look at this giant sized area. You got houses, you got bridges fighting over here. You got, what is this? You got these like bridges over here. Look at all this space already. First off, in the first image, look at all of this space. Honestly, this is enough room for a 5v5 or 6v6 game mode. Like literally just this, right? Now, the reason why they scrapped this big ass map and then like reduced it a ton and then eventually just got a new map is because it was so massive, so massive. There was no way you would have like one person in like one entire area. Like it wouldn't work, right? It wouldn't work with the 5v5 or 6v6 setting. Take a look at this. This is way too big. It looks cool. It looks very cool, but there's no way it would work. Look at this area, bro. I mean, this really does just look like a brand new, just a giant new island. That's what it was essentially, a very, very big map. And so that was the first thing that testers kind of complained about, like, yo, this map is cool, but it's so massive. And so they eventually shrunk it, right? They shrunk it down, and even then they replaced the map with what we see above, right? And the new map above here, which is like this area, and then they eventually showed off this like little hive thing. I don't even know if this is a Conquest map. But eventually this map you see right here, right? This is a much smaller version of what the map actually is. It's way smaller than the actual Conquest sized map. So right now they have a very, very well built, I think it looked cool to me, right? A very well built map just sitting there waiting. Well, what was the idea, right? What was the idea? The idea was that can be turned into basically the PvP Luminant, right? So let me explain what will come alongside, at least like the bare minimum features of said PvP Luminant, right? For starters, I think the biggest thing to be excited about is potentially 30 to 40 player servers, right? Maybe even, I'll say 40 to 50 player servers, because I forgot, Battle Royale can go up to 50, right? 40 to 50 player servers, because the thing is, there is going to be absolutely no event spawning and no PV spawning. It's going to be pure player based, player interaction based, right? Think literally Rogue Lineage, where there's no random events, there's no PV, there's not even like the fucking Z's, there's nothing. It's just pure motherfuckers boxing, right? 40 to 50 player servers, right? Now, the idea was, originally was just like, okay, War Mode version 2, and that's it. Like, that would be like the entire idea. However, there is possible expansions into this potential PvP Luminant. They can add more into this PvP Luminant and eventually just turn it into a giant update as well. Now, I know people are like, dude, Akamatsu, what, us PvE players, we're not eating? And that's true. This is not really a PvP super focused idea. This is for like the true enjoyment, true chaos of PvP, right? For PvE, they're cooking on Ceramide Hollow. I cannot speak on Ceramide Hollow. Unfortunately, that might have to be another stream if permission is ever granted for me to talk about Ceramide Hollow. Just know that they're doing new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just know that they're doing new stuff. Unfortunately, my PvE enjoyers, right? Just know that this will be, the PvP Luminant is not really going to be an update for the PvE enjoyer, right? But for the PvP enjoyer, you know what I'm saying? Got a big ass Luminant. And it literally will be like a new Luminant you can go to, as in, like, for example, you go to Eastern and then you take your boat and then you cross into like the PvP Luminant, whatever they name it. Fuck, the shit could be Central. The DAS could be like a part of Central. But there's a clear goal and purpose here, right? And like this would be it'd just be like a war zone essentially, right? So that would be like the biggest thing. There was also ideas on like how the loot would be obtained. I'm not really going to go into that because, like I said, I don't think that's really supposed to be talked about just yet. But my idea, right, I'll just give you guys a base idea, is that, like, for example, there's a lot of conquest loot that's sitting there waiting to be used, right? I think the cleanest idea would be to take all of that conquest specific loot. There's still things waiting, and there's a fair couple things waiting, right? Pour all that over to the PvP Luminant and expand upon it. It really just expand upon the possibilities of what you can really do there. For example, right, take a look at K1. K1, I think, he was talking about dropping like 10 enchants, right? 10, 15. This would be the perfect opportunity to put those conquest enchants into this area, right? And it doesn't even have to be like related to like, okay, you beat war mode and then you get the chest, that's how you get new enchants. They could really expand upon it. For example, not every enchant has to be the same way you get it. Like, there could be like even an NPC there, not an NPC that's like actually moving around, but an NPC you talk to who gives you a quest related to PvP, or even something that's not in the PvP Luminant. It could be something else, but you see what I'm saying, right? It's general expansion into the game, and it's taking Deepwoken in a new direction that we haven't seen it before. I think that's honestly the most important thing with bigger sized updates, right? That they try to spin Deepwoken away, or give Deepwoken a new perspective and how you can play the game and how you see the game, right? The problems we had before is, if you've noticed, right, in, for example, ward events, it doesn't really add too much of a spin to how we see Deepwoken, but Layer 2 changed a lot. There was a lot of spins, right? New oaths, Shrine of Order, massive spin on the game, new combat, right? Where a PvP focused Luminant could be insane, because it's like, well, we never had things where it's just like a pure war zone before, right? And that's also how I see Layer 3 and Void Sea potentially, right? Where Void Sea Luminant, that could just be like, it's an area focused on exploration. Honestly, it's the PvE dream. Void Sea is literally like the it's PvPvE. It's like, it's basically being like a fucking pirate. You know what I'm saying? Basically like fucking traveling the seas. That, in my opinion, is also like the casual player dream, you know, like a bunch of exploration. You got some PvP, you got a lot of PvE, environmental hazards. That, it's like a brand new spin on Deepwoken, which you've never seen. It's all, for most people, Deepwoken, you hop on, you make a build, you go do, you know, you're grinding Diluvian, maybe Enmity, maybe Hell Mode, right? There's very select few things you do there. PvP, you're just in Chime, you know what I'm saying, right? Maybe you do ganks occasionally. It's been very like, okay, we're focused on these few things, and that's your average Deepwoken player's day. And then the enjoyment comes out of, maybe I make a new thing, a new build, a new spin on stuff with the weekly content that they've been providing to try out in those few specific game modes, right? And what they've been adding recently hasn't been hitting hard enough to be added along those list of things that endgame players do, right? Look at war events, nobody's doing those. Glads, nobody's doing those, right? Ceremite Hollow, War Mode, nobody's doing those, right? These are things that should be like added to like those lists of like, okay guys, yo, let's head to the PvP Luminant, right? Let's head to PvP Luminant, right? And in essence, you would be able to have like 3 options now. It's like, okay, you can do Chime, right? You can do regular ganking, right? Just regular, you jump a motherfucker, right? It's like, okay, it's like, it could be as you're progging, Voidwalker, etc., right? And then you have the PvP Luminant, that's for like that's the big dogs, like that's chaos, pure chaos. 50 players, a giant map, right? Pure chaotic, right? Just trying to complete war mode, trying to get specific loot, trying to complete specific PvP related quests, which is something we haven't seen before. We haven't seen NPC go ahead and be like, hey, I need you to X, Y, and Z. I really love the beauty of Flame. I love to see their bodies burned to a crisp. Can you bring back 10 burnt charred bodies for me? You don't see anybody like, you know, so you don't see no crazy NPCs. Like, the only thing you saw was the Tacit nigga. He's like, yeah, just go kill this random motherfucker for me. That's it. But you see what I'm saying? They can really expand upon like crazy ass NPCs who are bloodthirsty, warmonger motherfuckers, and encourage that PvP, especially in like a giant 40. It's crazy. There's so many ideas, right? And so, in my opinion, that is what's it called? I think that's really how they expand upon Deepwoken as a game and give it direction. Really give it direction. And it's like, okay guys, we're trying to give you guys fulfilling endgame content that can really expand how much you can do into the game. I think that is like prime Deepwoken focus. That should be the focus right now, right? Starting off, you know what I'm saying, PvP Luminant, this is for like the PvP enjoyers. Ceremite Hollow, this is for the PvE enjoyers, right? And then finally it's like layer 3 of Void Sea, everything combined, right? Everything combined together where it's like, hey, you can run to both. And the hope is, right? So like if I had to explain the unique aspect of everything, PvP is a brand new way to look at brand new way to look at PvP. Ceremite Hollow, brand new way to look at PvE only. Like I really hope they really like understand that Ceremite Hollow, that should be like PvE enjoyers' dream, right? That they really need to expand upon that because it is a pure PvP only thing. But like I said, I can't speak on what I know about, you know, what they're doing to Ceremite Hollow. But if there's ever, you know, confirmations, if anything, they're gonna probably just leak what they're doing for Ceremite Hollow. They already did a little bit. And finally, like Void Sea, that should be like ship-based, very heavy ship-based exploration, what pretty much every deep player wants. And then layer 3, come on, layer 3 open world, bro. Like, let's not fuck around. But I do think that they're gonna spin it in an interesting way, and I will talk about that in the future one day when there's actually like more development on layer 3. But I do think that they're gonna spin layer 3 in an interesting way that we haven't also seen in Deepwoken yet. So what I'm trying to say is that all these big events, hopefully they really lock in upon the fact that this should feel new. World events didn't really feel that new. Yes, they added the new system of like the world event spawning in, but it didn't bring enough impact in the update for a substantial amount of people to come back. And so the hope is that, you know, Warmer version 2, Ceremite Hollow, we'll see all these things have like, it can at least attack a certain part of the player base that can bring people back, right? The PvP heads, you got Warmer version 2. PvE grind in the dungeon enjoyers, right? I know people want more overworld PvE, but we'll get to that in a second. But that's Ceremite Hollow, right? PvE heads who just want to grind in peace, you got Ceremite, right? Layer 3, you know, Void Sea, that should be like everybody, right? And it gives it a new spin. Void Sea's sea base. Layer 3 is question mark, because I can't speak on what I think they're gonna do. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at chat, but yeah, I don't know why people think it's, you know, I do clickbait a lot, but this time it's no, I'm being dead ass. I think this is I'm not gonna speak too much on it, but very high possibility that you will be seeing this like this. You will be seeing this. I'm not gonna go into other details about it, but I just want to bring it up here because I do want to hear feedback that I will be giving to the devs on this potential, because this was already technically confirmed, right? But they never worked on it, so I just hit up Archmage from like, yo, like, respectfully, hey, let's see this, right? You know, I think I told him I think it'd be a banger update, especially if you had like a bunch of new loot for people to grind out, right? And like I said, he gave me the breakdown on what he thinks he can also do, but I want to see what you guys have to think. Making an entire Luminant, especially the central Luminant about PvP, it feels like a service to the lore. Also asks if each Luminant would have a different use. What would the other 3 Luminants? Other 3 Luminants? You talking about like Central? It doesn't. Even if they make Central Luminant, like if they put it as part of Central Luminant, in my opinion, I think Central Luminant's biggest issue is the fact that it's very hard for. I think it's hard to give such an important area in the lore of Deepwoken, all right, in the lore of Deepwoken, a very clear focus, right? The focus. Chat, what is Central Luminant's focus? If you guys could design Central Luminant, what is the point of Central Luminant? What would you guys say that is the point? What is the point? I'm curious. Conquest? I don't know. Probably a trading hub, story, new way to progress. PvE and PvP like Eastern Luminant. The connection of all Luminants and a lot of lore. I'm gonna keep it a buck, guys. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, what is the new thing that they're trying to introduce to give Deepwoken a new like? Is it just, guys, we added more mobs and another origin? Like, it's just gonna be like, guys, there's 4 new bosses, 6 new monsters, some new NPCs you can talk to, and that'd be cool. But I ask you, how really replayable is something like that? Like, it's like, okay, guys, it's just basically like we had new bosses, new monsters, and maybe some lore NPCs to talk to, and that would be cool. But past the first couple weeks, maybe, or 2-3 weeks, how really replayable is that? Past like that, I just feel like eventually you just fall into what people are experiencing right now, and people are going to feel like the game is dry, in my opinion. I think they need to have like a clear replayable aspect that they bring to the table alongside with things like new bosses and stuff. So that's why I asked you guys, what would you want as a new focus or big focus for the game? Rideable Sharko and Threshers. I think that is potentially one of the cooler ideas. Like, okay, we want to introduce mounts. You can use mounts in Central Luminant. We need genuine expansion like Dark Souls DLC. It needs to be completely different. Anything that's already in the game is loaded will become dry again. That's what I'm saying. If it's just like, okay, we can just do the same thing we did for Eastern Luminant, but in Central Luminant. And it's like, do you know how dry that's going to be? Give it like literally 2 months, and I guarantee you're going to be like, damn, it's kind of not that crazy. It's like, that's what happened with Current Deep. Bro, chat, when the game released, people were already starting to feel like the game was dry 3-4 months after it dropped. And people were like, well, there's nothing really. They really need to have like some replayable focus with Central, right? And I think it'd be cool if like the idea for Central, like the way I thought, this is what I think. I think that Central Luminant doesn't have to be one thing. It can be multiple things, right? Multiple different things that they use with Central Luminant. But I don't think having like one giant Central Luminant, I just don't know what they're gonna do with that. I think it'd be cool for multiple locations in the game that are like, okay, this is Central Luminant and this is Central and this is Central. Like, it's so big that all these different game modes take place in Central Luminant, right? But I don't think an entire Luminant that you're gonna be able to explore. I don't know how crazy it is. In the Conquest map of Central Luminant, there's a giant tower, so maybe do something with that. That could be cool. Tower. Can Battle Royale take place in Western? Battle Royale does take place in Western. I mean, let me see what else y'all were saying about PvP Luminant. PvP Luminant, I'm not gonna lie, that just sounds dumb. Just make a Luminant similar to K, where it's a more barren open land with smart quests that allow for horizontal progression. Horizontal, bro, how is that anyway different from what I said? Essentially, that's basically what it would be. You're getting new enchants, you're getting access to new stuff. That is horizontal progression. Smaller quests, yeah. Did you not hear what I said? Though I don't think, like I said, I don't think they're gonna bring. I think as a whole, trying to bring PvE into like the idea of a PvP limit so it feels more fulfilling, kind of defeats the purpose in my opinion. Like I said, for PvE shits, oh, you weren't tuned in before, it's all good. I just think that it's a matter of just really expanding upon new ideas that they can try out, because with PvE already, it's like people, it's like, what can you bring to the game for PvE to feel different, right? And it's like, at the end of the day, you gotta try different things with different PvE, or else it's gonna fall in line and become not that crazy. I mean, I don't know. I think bare minimum, they need to create, even for the current bosses, like, chat, look at it. Look at ward events right now. Ward events gave, technically, the craziest thing that they gave are, they expanded upon what we haven't really seen before, which is like sea-based bosses, right? And like a hardcore raid boss. So they did give us new like things to actually try out in PvE, and guess what? They didn't stick the landing. It didn't really last, right? So PvE, there's like a lot of important things you have to do with PvE besides just like give a new spin on things, in my opinion. They really you gotta fill the bitch up with grindable content. Loot is really important, and I think they really failed on that. Give me a sec. War events was a cool concept, but it would have been better if it was expanded on the idea. They should really focus on compete clans instead of panic slot. I do think that having like also consistent ward events that would drop eventually would really help expand upon the idea. Like completing the ward events, adding like a bunch of loot to it, right? I mean, just today we were doing fixes or testing like fixes for Carnival, but it's like you see like the stuff like that stay not fulfilling for months, and I can understand why Deepwoken players get frustrated, because it's like, yo, this was supposed to be our core content, and yet even that is feeling incomplete. Do you see what I mean? So I can understand where people get a little bit frustrated with that. Which Luminant would they be most open to doing? Me personally, West would be my favorite. Most open, I don't know. I think, like I said, I think Southern Luminant is like the slam dunk waiting to happen. I think it's like the easiest to really lock in and do. Yeah, this video actually make more video. I'm really lock in on those vids. Should make a fair amount of money. Yeah, damn. Bosses with some minigame that requires player cooperation. I think that'd be cool. At the bare minimum, you get like, what's it called? Like Etheron, like that, basically. All the new Luminant in the sky. In the sky sounds very interesting. They lay the blueprints but don't build the house. Honestly, that's a good way to put it, I'd say. There's a lot of times where I think they, yeah, I agree. That's a very good way to put it. It's like some of the new content even could have been like, they sometimes did it, but like I feel like some of the new content that should have been put towards like expanding the loot pool of like ward events, but I don't even know what's gonna go on with ward events. Like I said, honestly, like I want them to maybe take like another, as we're waiting for these like next big updates, right? I hopefully want them to take the time to like expand upon ward event bosses and maybe like new loot, just like it would be like an update that drops that's like the ward events like slight revamp, or ward events like, I don't know, what would you call it, like revamp update, like okay, Parasol revamped, he has new moves, right? A bunch of new loot from him, a World Serpent a lot less annoying to fight, and then they also added like a 2 new moves to him, you know what I'm saying, right? Carnival, 3 or 4 game modes added, and now you can participate in Carnival with 50 players, and there's a secret depths version that you put everything on the line for like some new rare loot. Like you see what I mean, right? It's like at the top of your screen, like what the fuck is that? And it's like question mark the games. And it's like the games in the depths. And so across all depth servers, you see it, it's like what the fuck is that? You click on it, tink, click on it, right? And what happens is you get TP'd, right? You get TP'd. Guess what? There is like, was it 50 y'all, 50 motherfuckers in like a depths trial looking area, right? 50 y'all motherfuckers who are standing there like, what's going on, yo? And it's like, boom, you see like the depths combat tag skull appear. You've been selected for the depths games. The depths games, what the fuck? Only one of you will survive. And it's like, what? Yo, only one of you, what the fuck is going on? Because it picks up everybody, like the 1 or 2 people who just said, I'll try it, across all the servers. It picks them up and they put them in a server. Bam, 50 motherfuckers, 1 survivor. It's like, yo, that's a crazy event. And they got some crazy ass loot in there, bruh. It's like a spin on, like, you know what I'm saying? Right? It's like, damn, the Squibbo games. No, that's crazy. I don't think I can do that, Agamatsu. That's too scary. But some motherfuckers, I'm Thanos. You know what I'm saying? They gonna go in there and they gonna win. They gonna win. Bro, played this game before. The loot would have to be insane though. The loot would be insane. Bro, a Depth Sword event where motherfuckers are guaranteed to wipe. Bro, that bitch better have like a fucking. I think it'd be cool though if there was like a radiant orb. Wow, to the winner, right? Not only do you get like a bunch of chests for RNG, but you get like the radiant orb of progression. And it's like, yo, what do you want me to give you? I can give you 5 Sinner's Ashes, fucking 20 Idols, fucking 10 Moon's Eyes, or 25 Smith Aloes. You're like, what, yo? What the fuck? Like, what? You see what I mean, right? But it's like, bro, 49 motherfuckers wiped, only 1 survived. Exploiters would go crazy, bro. Nigga, the exploiters would get banned. Regular players are competing. If there's an exploiter there, they're gonna get reported and banned. Use your brains, Cat. What are you talking about exploiters? Unless it's literally all exploiters. What you mean? If an exploiter's flying around in the shit, then they're gonna get clipped and banned. Who's exploiting with 40 other people on the damn server and they don't know who it is? What are you talking about? That's what I'm saying, bro. Can people just flood it with their guild though, unless they add something against that? Maybe they could, but it's like the way they could structure is that like they can make it to where like it doesn't really, like some games it doesn't matter if you have many men, because it's the way I look at it is that like, okay, you bring 5 of your friends, but like 3 or 4 of you might wipe, and like if you play alone, like that's a squad wipe for them niggas, right? You just played alone, like you see me, like there's like less of your group who might be getting harmed in that. I think there's a proper way they can do it to where like you can force it to where you can't really team up with people, or it's like, okay, you get put into 2 random teams, right? It's like, I don't know how to say in Korean, because it's the Squibbo games. Hold on. I'm gonna go translate this. And give me Korean. Give me like a girl who speaks Korean, because that's what they do. Okay, so imagine you're like, you wake up one day. Hold on. Let me get like, you accept to go into the Squibbo games, right? Let me find it. What was like the main one? Is it this one? Okay, you wake up. Mingsu, is that you? Oh, Agamatsu, I clicked to join the Squibbo games and I don't know what's going on, man, but
The next game will be Grand Javelin.
And it's like, okay, and then it's like,
다음 게임은 그랜드 천던지기 도치볼입니다.
What the? Grand Javelin dodgeball? And then boom, you get split up, right? 25v25. Minsu, no! You and Munsu, even though you guys are friends in the same group, you guys are split up. It's Team A versus Team B and it's randomized, bro. Oh, no, bro. And it's like, the next games have begun. And people are like, on the Grand Javelin, just, you see it and it's like, boom, it hits in the group. Bah! He explodes into a million pieces. You're like, Minsu! And there you go. It's the Squibbo games, bro. Like, you can bring your guild, bro, but only 1 survivor will make it out. Everybody else wiping, bro. Like, it's the Squibbo games, bro. Like, lock in, bro. It's like, bro, chat. Literally just that idea alone. That idea alone. It sounds way more like what? It sounds way more involved, like way more crazy than like current carnival. You hop in, there's 3 niggas there. The shit don't even start. The shit is broken. You see what I mean, right? The shit broken, and it's like, oh, you can't even do anything with that, bro. It's like, you see, it's like crazy, right? It's like people are like, no, they wouldn't do this, but I'm saying, bro, you have some rare loot in there. You have some exclusive shit you get in there, and any nigga would do anything to try and get that, bro. There's always gonna be an audience that's trying to get some exclusive shit in there, bro. I don't really think this kind of stuff fits in Deep. Not gonna lie. Well, it's in Deep right now, and guess what? It's fumbled. It's fumbled. So if they really want to throw the bitch in there, you might as well try it. You hyping up too much respectfully. Rewards have to be more insane than Mantle of Enmity, bro, too. What's wrong if that's the case? Yeah, so what? Bro, that'd be crazy, bro. A guarantee, like, if you have to be the winner, bro, that'd be crazy. And you know how I know that niggas would do it? Because guess what, bro? You know how I know? Guess what? We do it right now, bitch. Guess what? Anytime, go look at any of my past streams. Anytime I've done the Enmity Hunger Games, there is mountains of people, mountains in my chat. One more game, one more game, one more game. We can go in it right now. I'll show you. I'll fucking show you, bro. I'll show you right now. I get like 20 niggas lined up in a server, one survive, and then motherfuckers see that and they're like, I think I can win. I swear to God. No, people aren't gonna do that. People will do that. Niggas, people do it for enmity. For enmity loot. For enmity loot. They only go in because they want to see you, bro. Okay. They don't want to see me. Nigga, I'm streaming. You can see me right now. What the fuck you mean? That's not a reason to wipe a power 20 build. No. Don't say that now. Niggas know that they gonna wipe in this shit. And they just want to come in and say hi so they can wipe their build 10 seconds later. No. Because the idea is simple. If you win the enemy Hunger Games, you get two fucking enmity chests. And they think they can win. That's what you have to do. You have to implant in these guys' mind that they think that they can be the lucky one to win, right? And it's like there's a little bit of skill in there, a little bit of, it has to be skill based for the most part. Can't be RNG. You gotta have like some sort of skill in there, some idea where like your build can maybe even matter a little bit. And people think they'll be able to win. Throwaway builds exist for some. Yeah, some people would just want to throw away their builds. There's nothing wrong with that though. Motherfuckers do that anyway, bro. Motherfuckers gank on throwaway builds. Motherfuckers just, bro, there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees in Deepwoken. You can hop in depths right now, and a nigga he's just looking at you. He just thinks you look ugly, and he wants to wipe you. That could deadass be the only reason you wipe, just because somebody thought you looked ugly as fuck. You look ugly, nigga. I want to wipe you. That's that. See what I mean, right? It's like, you see what I mean, right? It's like this. Yes, it's Deepwoken, bro. Like niggas gonna do anything, bro. But the biggest thing, right? The biggest thing, chat, is they need to be finished, and they need to have clear loot pools that are defined for people to want to go after and chase after. The problem is the loot pools for war events didn't have a plan. There was no plan. There was no idea of like, okay, this is like the idea is we want people to grind maybe like a certain amount of times for this item, but there's gonna be this items in the meanwhile to hold them off. It's like, nah, bro. And it dropped with 4 times of chests. But not only that, but at the same time, you see, chat, you see how they stopped doing 2 times loot pool? There's a secret to that. But do you see how they stopped saying that, yo, we're doing 2 times loot? And guess what? People stopped asking. Hopefully, I swear, please, anytime they drop something new, I don't want to see 4 times chest. Because that is how you quickly fucking fuck up the shits, bro. That's how you quickly fuck up the shits. In my opinion, that is really how you quickly fuck up the shits, bro. Bashir, get a job, bro. Nigga, bro, I'll put you on blast right now, motherfucker. You literally just subscribed 12 minutes ago. You just came here. This is you, right? Bashir, this is you. You just subscribed to me. You helping pay my bills. That's you, ain't it? That's you. I caught you. That's you right there. Bashir, that's you. Bro, subscribed. He was watching the stream. I'm gonna type this now. I feel like typing. No. That's you. I see you, motherfucker. Don't try and hide it, bro. Don't try and hide it. No. Are you gonna go on the freshie hour? Maybe. I don't know. It's a little too unhinged for my taste. I'll think about it. I'm not against the idea of more insane loot than Mantle. What I mean is that the devs stated before they don't want to power creep armors. I honestly don't know. I think that when it comes down to it, Deepwoken can be in a difficult position in terms of loot because it's like, what do they want to do, right? What do they want to do? The problem is if they introduce things that are too strong, inevitably what ends up happening is that everything else is rendered ineffective in the face of brand new things that basically hinder somebody's ability to win against the new stuff. That is why they need to keep like a clear, there's like a clear line of balance. And some things are way above, some things are a little like below, right? But they're trying to keep like a damn balance, right? And so they have to be very careful. The new armors, for example, right? It's like the squibble armor is pretty damn strong. Squibble armor is pretty damn strong, but it only needs slight sort of nerfs in my opinion. And it can still be something that has, it can still keep its strong effect, right? But perhaps the cooldown goes up, right? But maybe the cooldown goes down the more people are on you, so it's like a boss raid armor. You see what I mean? They need to be carefully tread the line, and that's the difficult part. That is the difficult part, because like, how do you add a new legendary weapon? That's like, for example, Fist. Like a new Fist Shadow legendary weapon, right? Or like Fist fucking Gale, or whatever, you know. Well, they're already Fist Gale. Like Fist fucking Flame. There you go. Fist Flame, right? Your hands are literally on fire. It's like, it's not like a legendary weapon. It's a legendary fighting style, right? And the idea is that, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you really they have to. That's why trade-offs are a good idea. It's tough because trade-offs can even be like, because Deepwoken is such a, there's so much freedom in the builds you can make in Deepwoken that you can negate trade-offs sometimes, and that's what a lot of people try to do. Look at Link Strider. They had the Deepscorn Cask, right? That basically negates the downside of using a Link Strider to heal somebody, and it became a problem because the niche sometimes eventually becomes the meta. Look at Bird built in the depths. That shit was like fucking Gotham City. You know what I'm saying, right? Like Gotham City, because everybody will gank somebody, then fly away, and there's literally nothing you can do. Okay? There's literally nothing you can do. We getting that ceremony update this week? No, I don't. I even asked, like I said, I asked about the war mode shits this week, and it's just probably not gonna be a thing this week. You like the equipment pip system? I think equipments could be expanded upon. Personally, the pip system is not a issue for me because, in my opinion, I think the easiest way for them to work around that is by trying to at least expand upon innate talents for specific pieces of gear, right? Take a look at like I think my favorite example of shit that could be expanded upon is like, yeah, like literally like innate talents. I mean, that's the best you can do, bruh. It adds on to build making without having to make it like boring, because at the moment it's like, okay, you get the thing that gives you the best health, best DVM, best physical, right? That's like top three, what most people are searching for. And so you limit the armors people can really use by such a huge amount. But if you take a look at the torso chest piece, ooh, now that's where you get like the most options, probably in the game, probably in the entire game. That's where you get the most options. You have Confessor Charm, the like fucking little, the thing made of human hair, the enmity thing that gives you 18 health, right? Which I do think is kind of lame, but anyway, right? You got the enmity thing. Tyrion Pendant, which, bro, Tyrion Pendant, don't sleep on it. So it's very, very handy. Very handy. It can be very, very handy. You got the Duke Relic. I mean, just amazing through and through, right? Lightkeeper Medallion is more like it's like a acquired taste sort of thing. It's like for the fine diners who people can understand its strengths, but it's more gank oriented where you're that type of guy to get a lot of kills. So it's more like for the fine diner types, right? Fine diners. And because there's a lot of benefits that people don't realize. Like, for example, if you are running away and somebody uses Air Force or Windforge with a Wayward on it to catch up to you, right? When you have the light thing on, that shit's not gonna proc. There's like small interactions like that can matter a lot in ganks, like people healing off their bloodlesses, right? People being able to hit insignia combos off you. There's a lot of things it negates that are like, it's details in the smaller things, which is why I said it's an acquired taste, fine diner sort of thing. But most of the time people are just going to use Duke Relic, right? So that's like 5 different things in my opinion. Like that's the most diversity you'll probably see on players. War Master Medallion, I think I'm going to ask for a buff on that, because that thing, bro, 2 times Bell Conan is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like equipment set buffs could be cool, especially if they're like related somehow to like the lore of the shits. I actually do have an idea that I want them to save. I really want them to save for like a big update, like PvP, War Mode, PvP Luminant, right? Or Ceremony Hall Rework, or even like, I don't know about Void Sea or Layer 3, but I think it'd be like the idea of being able to upgrade past outfits, right? Like, let's go pull it up right now. Being able to upgrade past outfits would be like so fucking crazy, because there's a lot of really cool talents that exist on here, but it's like they're kind of sorry. I'm not gonna lie, they're sometimes kind of sorry. Here you go. So let's take a look here, right? So like, what would be an example, right? So you could have armors here. So you have like a bunch of master armors, right? Now, first off, they need to add armor talents to the Tempest Threadmaker, Storm Chain Raiments, the Vigil, Sentinel, Sanguine Finery, and Icebringer. These 5 are like sorry as fuck. They need to add unique talents to them. But past that, right? Let's look past that. Take a look at the expert armors. And also some of the adept even armors, right? Let's go through all the outfits that could get a brand new, like basically alloy, right? And it could be called like the outfit, like advanced alloy, which they could tie to like a cool quest and like some new gameplay, right? So it would probably be Dark Steel Plate, Hive Tactician, Grand Pathfinder, I think Pathfinder Arc Sorcerer. I think does Cerulean Guard have a new one? I don't know if it does. Cerulean Guard. Then down here, I think probably Pathfinder Cloak could be, they could like, what's it called? Add to that one. Cutthroat Light Armor. Yep. Maybe, I think Pathfinder, this one, and then Flame Worshipper. I'm opening up a lot of tabs, right? These are like armors that I think all have unique talents. Let's go through, give a couple ideas, right? For Dark Steel Plate, deadass, I'm so serious. Just make it to where like when you alloy or like you maybe they add something new to like a special, like they could add something to like Ceramide Hollow. Here you go, Ceramide Hollow PV idea, right? They add like specific ores that you have to find in Ceramide Hollow. So the new Ceramide Hollow, just as an idea. Not saying this is what it's going to be, but in Ceramide Hollow, it's like you're not just mining for like the fucking orange ore. You're mining in general. You're mining in general, right? And so when you're going through, the idea is obviously you're going to probably need like 1 or 2 things. Hopefully they drastically reduce the amount needed to fuel the ship, because that's the boring part. And then the exploration part, or like the search part, is you looking for specific ores to upgrade things like Dark Steel Plate. So for example, right, maybe they have like obsidian core, right? Some bullshit like shit that drops from like a new enemy or something like that. If they drop some, because like, bro, obviously Ceramide Hollow, the hope is that the rework isn't containing, at least, bro, it needs new enemies. But let's say it's like obsidian core, then you have like obsidian ore, right? Platinum ore that you can mine or something like that. Or they want to give it unique names. And then you need all these ores to upgrade your armor. Bam, now the bitch has like 32% physical armor. It can still have 25% elemental, right? So it has like 32% fizz, 25% elemental, and maybe like 15 iron sink armor resistance, maybe like 5 shadow or whatever, right? And then it gets the same talent, because Unbreakable is really good. So it keeps Unbreakable, maybe even like a slightly stronger version of it. And there you go. Now it turns into a master armor that you upgraded, right? Hive Tactician armor. What is this one, right? This one's 25 fizz. Maybe the upgrade is like 25% elemental. Maybe they upgrade the wind to like 20%, right? Slight upgrades. This one's already not too bad as is, but where's the, is there no unique talent on this one? Oh, Brunt. Yeah, Brunt. Here we go. So as you can see, while two-handing, you take less posture damage, right? And this is actually a unique talent. This is a unique talent. This is not like I don't think this is the same as it's not the same as the medium one, because it also works for heavy weapons, which I think is cool. And I think what could be cool is if you have like the upgrade to the talent is like, if both your hands are occupied, you take less posture damage, right? Which might be too crazy, because that means it would work with shields, right? It means it would work with shields, right? But like, it could be like reduce posture damage by 10% when two-handing a weapon, and if both your hands are occupied, reduce your, posture damage taken by 5%. So that way it works with light weapons. Anyway, right, that was just an idea for upgrade for that one. Grand Pathfinder Cloak, does not give you anything unique? Legendary, it does. Okay, so this one could just be upgraded to like 30 fizz, 30 elemental, maybe like 25 fizz, 35 elemental. Legendary, yeah, this one's good. Legendary is actually, this ether talent is actually pretty fucking good. I think they can just leave this one as is. Maybe give slight increase for the pairing part, but this is actually, it gives you a lot of fucking ether, a lot. Pathfinder Arc Sorcerer, what's the unique talent here? Devastating Power, gives the player 10 ether for every equipped mantra. Let's just say you upgrade it. Oh yeah, this needs to go up to 25%. This goes up to 30%. Maybe they add like gale resistance or something like that to it. Maybe this goes up to 15%. And then this goes from 10 ether to 15 ether for every mantra equipped. Cerulean Gown, do they have anything unique for this? No, this one's just ass. They need to do something. They need to give that one some love. Pathfinder Cloak, Environmentalist, reduces damage from certain weather effects. Honestly, what could an upgrade for this one be? And I'll take a look at that donation in a second. Thank you. For starters, for starters, when you fully upgrade this to, because it's an adept armor, right? Yeah, this is like 2 steps below. When you fully upgrade it, it needs to be like, maybe it can be like 32%, 31% physical, 25% elemental, right? And then it gives you, what's it called? I'd say, right, instead of giving you, what's it called? Specific elemental resists, what it could do, Environmentalist reduces damage from certain weather effects. Honestly, what they could do is, I think this could, it's a niche sort of thing. It's a niche buff. Maybe it could be like, instead, it's like, it's 25% or 30% physical, 35% elemental, right? And then environmentals, because it's supposed to be like, it's resistance against like weather effects, right? The idea is that any weather like buff or like sort of like change to something that happens whenever there's something related to environmental statistics for your opponent does not proc on you, does not affect you at all. Right now, this is kind of niche anyway, but like, for example, right, in the depths, when you're fighting like, what's a good example? When you're in like the depths, or like when it's nighttime, bro, Shadow does 15% more damage to you. You negate that. You know, if you're fighting like a storm motherfucker, right, and the lightning strikes on you, you negate that. You negate all forms of current and future environmental effects, which includes from enchants, talents, and other outfits, right, etc., etc. Because there's actually a lot of things in the game that give you slight buffs like that can stack up. So environmentalist would be like, no, your environmental shit doesn't work on me as an upgrade, because it's supposed to just be like a damage thing anyway. But Chad, but don't read into the ideas too much. I'm just trying to explain, like, this could be a very cool way to use already existing outfits and expand upon gameplay, which was already somewhat lacking for outfits to begin with, because there's good outfit choice now, but there's sometimes some people feel like there's still not enough. And so now they can expand upon it even more by having something crazy like being able to upgrade armor, which could tie into that. See, that's how you do it. You tie something that's existing, give a new spell on it, like upgrading armor, and tie it to a game mode like Ceramide. So you're like, okay, now let's go do Ceramide. I need to upgrade my armor, but we need to maybe prepare a squad, yada, yada, yada. You can give Ceramide a unique difficulty thing, etc., right? That's just in my opinion. There's like so many more outfits that they can do this with. Like legendary increases your dodge window, right? Maybe it could slightly reduce the cooldown, like the master armor version of this reduces the cooldowns of talents like Ghost and Safety Dance by 2 to 3 seconds. You know what I'm saying, right? Instead of a 20-second cooldown, now it's a 17-second cooldown. And it gives you a slight dodger window. You know, it's like the dodge talent. You see, chat, you understand what I'm saying, right? It's like, oh, okay, so now it's like only, okay, that's not, yeah, I can see that being pretty damn good. It's like, you want to give people the idea, like give them idea to build into something, or build into something that feels kind of cool, expand upon that build gameplay with a new mechanic. Anyway, I think that's enough yet for me about that. But yeah, I want to know what your guys' general thoughts about shit is. Let me see what you're saying. Thank you for the $5. I'll get your ass on Freshie Hour. Like I said, I'm thinking about it. I'll give your ideas on different life weave mantras and talents. This is hard because I would need to first know what the life weave like base like hit status effect is going to be. I think the simplest version of life weave, if I had to give an idea, is that whenever you hit people, right? You know, like how like you proc a burn on them, or you proc burn, you proc sort of you proc like chill, right? My idea would be like you proc life energy, right? And what it does is that it's almost like blood rends poison in a way, where it's like you proc your own life energy into them, right? And so the idea is that you're healing them with blood run mantras, not blood run mantras. You're kind of healing them, quote unquote. It's not really healing. It's very slight heal, but you're healing them with your life weave mantras, but it's filling their bar up, their health bar, with like a purple health. So like, let's just say your mantra dealt 35 damage, right? You healed them for 5 purple health. And then you can add talents based on that purple health. And it's like, yes, it gives them a little bit more fucking health, right? But you can use that against them. And like, depending on how much life energy you put into them, you can like control them or X, Y, and Z, right? Or it gives you certain status effect changes, yada, yada, yada. Find a new game. You know this. I know you see this. Quit Debone Bro is dead. Shaz dead. Bro, what? Bro, Demon's been more dead and has come back, bro. I think it's as simple as there's just nothing to do in the game. But I swear, everybody always says like, it's Jover, quit. I've heard that multiple times, and guess what? Whenever there's usually something like crazy that is fulfilling, motherfuckers come back. And if it's dead for you, then leave. It's fine to stop playing. It's fine to stop playing, but Deepwoken's been literally in the dirt, bro. Like tops, literally like there was an era where like the top players you would see is like 5,000. That was an awful era. But guess what? In 2 to 3 months, bro, it came back with an actual good update. People came back. It's that simple, literally. It's like, bro, Runeslayer and Ascendium. Real quick, go look at this. Not Ascendium. Go look at the Runeslayer player count for me. Go and look at that. Come back when you look at that, okay, buddy, and compare it to Deepwoken's. Paid game versus free-to-play game. That's all I gotta say, bro. Take a look at it. Go ahead. When you come back, tell me what you see. I want you to type both of the numbers right now and tell me what you see. Runeslayer got nuked. I need to make a video about this. It doesn't matter that Runeslayer got nuked. Even then, it's a simple as, right? There's nothing to do in Runeslayer. I'm not saying that Runeslayer can't come back, because any game can come back, but it's going to be, in my opinion, very difficult to have longevity in Runeslayer in a mostly PvE game, because having mostly PvE is a lot hard to upkeep, in my opinion, and we'll have to see what the new devs do. I think it's possible. Don't get it twisted. I do think it's very possible. But they need to have like level 60 when you come back. Like I'm saying, like for people to come back, they want to see level 60, 3 new areas, 2 new rare dungeons, 3 new world bosses. That is what brings people back. So they might have to like hold it in and like weather the storm, because like 1 new boss and like 2 new monsters might bring back niggas for like 5 days, 4 or 5 days. Because guess what? Niggas gonna grind that shit like that, bro. So we'll have to see. Like, bro, Pilgrimed. Now, remember, Pilgrimed had like an amazing release. And guess what? Like, when you run through the content in Pilgrimed, chat, like, people don't understand that, like, a solid PvP is important to the game, bro. If you're going to have PvP, you need to make sure it's solid. Because guess what? Pilgrimed, we can go look at it, actually. I'll show you right now. Pilgrimed, people were like, oh, Pilgrimed could be. It had serious numbers, man. I think it had like a solid like 20K at one point. I might be wrong. But let me look. Okay, so here's a ooh, this is good. Take a look. All right. This is Pilgrimed. Oops. That's not Pilgrimed. There you go. This is Pilgrim, right? Pilgrimed the raindrops. Okay. So you can see when it first released, it was like, okay, when it finally got picked up on, I think it had more players than this for like it had like 20K for like a week or something like that. So I had a lot of people playing. People were like, oh yeah, this is crazy. 2023, so this is before they announced Conquest, right? This isn't before they announced Conquest. I think we were just riding off layer 2 here, I think. Yeah. Yeah. And then, okay, the game kind of, fell off. People finished the game, right? And this is how long it took them to like make like an update that is like seriously like next level to bring people back, right? Which took them a year. Okay, that's fine. Maybe like 9-8 months. And then as you can see, people finish the PvE and they stop playing. A good PvP. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this camera like it's you guys. I just realized you guys can't see that. But like I was saying, a good PvP chat is essential in my opinion. If you have PvP in your game, it is essential to keeping people on the game. It is, man. It is, chat. It's that simple. If your game is going to be weak in PvP, why even have it? You might as well just have PvE only and then focus purely on PvE, because that might do you better than just trying to like do both, even though both is not really it. And so let's take a look at Runeslayer. Actually, that does let me yap a little bit. Okay, I think Runeslayer it had a couple shutdowns today, right? Runeslayer did that. Let's take a look at Deeps too. Okay, so here we have what Deep was doing today. Just a classic average day for the deep. It has its usual consistent up, down, up, down, up, down, right? I think we hit like a peak like 9.3k, a low of like 3k. Runeslayer today, right? We see today, and it's like, bro, what the fuck, man? The bitch didn't even hit 10k today. It's like, what the fuck's going on? It maybe would have here, maybe, but it's like, dog, what the fuck? If you look at the daily, right? Don't look at this. It's like, dog, it was like averaging 20, it literally at 32k, and not even 10 days. It's like, did that many people leave because the whole thing? I don't know, man. It was. I think they can bring this back up though. Like I said, they need some good SPV. Meanwhile, I think deep, bro. Anytime there's like always like a deep competitive challenge, bro, it hits the shit, bro. You can't even lie to yourself. Take a look. This is literally when Runeslayer dropped, I think, or around when Runeslayer was like, "Yo, I'm here and I'm ready to act." So yeah, for me, Deepwoken, it's always like you have a dry era, which usually plateaus the game's players. And then if there's something that's like crazy that people are attending to, or people are just bored with the game, you'll have like your drop, right? But for the most part, like there's been these like drops and plateaus, and then usually it takes like a few months to really recover. You know what I'm saying? It's usually like, okay, mink. People hear about something big coming, bam. All right, same thing here. Okay, you have like a very low plateau, very low era, and then okay, mink, bam, it's back up. And even here, this is after like the low K1 era. Okay, plateau, mink, bam. And so that's the hope for this time, at least, that you're going to be hopefully seeing same thing where it's like, okay, you got the little fall off, people hop off for a bit, they're working on content in the background, people hear about something, mink, bam, same thing. And I do really hope that, like I said, biggest hope is we see a lot of work thrown into PvP Luminant, Ceramide Hollow, and then, dude, after those two, and maybe some love to world events, and maybe like one new world event with like a world events revamp, I think it's seriously time to like choose your character, right? Void Sea, Void Tower, that they still want to do that. Void Tower, fucking Layer 3, Layer 3, that's a very easy banger. You know what I mean? Layer 3. There you go. Like there's a lot of very easy, like, well, not easy to do, but like I think easy solutions or answers as to like, okay, what's the big thing next, right? And they lock in on that, dude. I don't know, chat. What do y'all think? I think this. Let me go pull up what Arkham H said, and I think it does illustrate that. Like, you guys have to realize it's fine if people don't play Deepwoken for a bit. It's fine, actually. Take a look. Take a look here. Let's take a look. Sometimes people need to remember that if a game isn't fun for you anymore, the productive thing to do is find a new game instead of spending 3 hours in the day doing a Discord. So it's okay if, I'm saying, Deep doesn't really hit the same for y'all, bro. Archmage, you have to acknowledge that. It's okay. Because I think a lot of people expect Deepwoken as well. And, Deepwoken has fun, but don't get it twisted. But I also think at the same time, like, a lot of people are expecting that they want to be able to play, like, the want from Deep. People are mad that they can't play the game every fucking day. That they can't play the game, like, constantly. These are people who have put hundreds of hours, many hours into the game. And it's okay if you can't do that anymore, bro. That's not for everybody. But I think a lot of people who are currently playing are people who do play this game on the daily. There's a lot of people who play this game who play it on the daily or even on, like, the weekly at least, right? And so, you know what I'm saying, right? To uphold that and to keep that up, I think it's already doing a lot. But I think that a lot of people do, people have a lot of high standards for Deepwoken. They want that. They want Deepwoken to be like the game that they hop on. There's always something fun to do or something to try out. And I think that you can get close to achieving that, right? For some people, that's what I'll say about that, chat. I just think you gotta realize it's okay for this shit's not to do crazy. Oh yeah, the new weapon leak. Yeah, I saw S and Et did a little thing, didn't they? We can go over that, sure. Did Deepwoken repost it? It did. 2 parts of a whole. Yes. Take a look, chat. Take a look. Looks like they're holding something pretty interesting there. Can I open this in a new tab? This looks very... I thought this was the depths at first. I didn't really look deeper into this. Interesting, chat. What do you have to say about it? Any theories on what y'all think this is? I kind of know, but I think it's gonna be, I'll be cool when it drops. What do y'all think? What the hell's that? I guess I'll let you guys look at it for longer. Any theories? Any game theorists here? Let me actually pull up and see what you guys are saying. Oh, oops, sorry. All right, let me see. Let me see. There we go. Void Power Staff. It's Ferryman related. Shadowcast Medium. It looks ass. Potentially Charisma Legendary. Might be another Gale Legendary. Shadowcast Medium Weapon. Shadow Twin Blade. The weird purple circles that appear on the web once in a white. I don't know about any of the Legendary Gale Heavy one, but they won't do that because they need a new Blood Run Medium Weapon. What if you join the 2 into Twin Blade and take 2 of them apart for swords? Okay, you guys have some interesting theories. Shadowcast Staff. Make your own game. Don't worry about me, okay? Deepwoken's flooding problem, brother. It's been a problem since the Rogue Lineage times, brother. I think it's tough to prevent something like that. The flooding problem in Deep. I mean, like, I don't even know what to tell you. That's how the game is, bro. I just say, generally speaking, bro, you just gotta pay attention to your surroundings. If you see like 5 or 4 people in a guild, I would not be farming. Like I see like people who there's like 4 or 5. Like you see like a ranked 4 to 5 get like people will see like top guilds in a server with multiple people, and they'll decide to grind there. And it's like, dog, like them motherfuckers might be PvP or PvE gankers, bro. Like I don't know about that. Update day tomorrow. Let's hope that the update drops tomorrow. I think it's gonna drop Saturday maybe, but we'll see. Who knows? It could. The update feels like it's like, damn, update day's already here, but I forget that we got it on Sunday, right? So we'll see. We'll see. I got missed the new Luminant. Yeah. Scroll back because Loki, I did talk about it for a bit. I'm not gonna lie, but to sum it up, basically, it's to summarize the Luminant thing. New PvP Luminant will probably like for one mode version 2 where they can add different things in there, and it's like 40-50 players potentially, and it's like a giant map where people fight in box, and it's crazy, and they can add new quests in there, new loot in there, yada yada yada. They move all the things from Conquest to that. I basically summarize it. Not gonna lie, I wish that they actually had thoughts of adding this Illuminant. No, I think it's a very real possibility, Zeta or Orion. I think it's like Void Sea exploration. You're exploring the Southern Luminant. Just call it the Southern Luminant update, the Void Sea update, whatever you want. That's super like God marketing right there, bro. Anywho, who asked for this shit, bro? Half the player base is PvP, bro, and Ceremony Hall is that PvE. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people played War Mode when it first dropped. So there's a fair amount of people who'd play it. There's nobody playing it right now though because it's ass. So there definitely is an audience, bro. Don't say like, oh, dude, who's asking for this? Half the fucking player base, bro. If there's a fucking fun ass new PvP game mode, people will try it out. It's not like everybody. It's not fucking RuneSlayer where everyone's like PvE. No, it's a PvP/PvE game, bro. And I do think that both is needed, but it's not bad if they add like PvP specific content, because the last one they tried adding fumbled. We didn't even get Conquest, bro. And Glads is fucking BS. They need a proper PvP related fucking endgame shits, bro, to expand upon. PvP is just more sustainable. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I think like, bro, good PvP, like I said, that is also what keeps people playing as well. But like Deepwoken has good enough PvE where people will come back and play PvE again. Like there's people who only play PvP every day, but I think, like I said, I think that's hard to sustain. I mean, it takes a lot more work to sustain, but we haven't gotten any real good major PvP shit besides Enmity and War Events for a minute now. Yeah, and what was the last good PvP thing we've gotten? Answer that, bro. Like, I know people might bring up like the new weapons, but I'm talking about a genuine new medium to try PvP in. Okay, Glads is literally just 2v2. Glads is deadass. It's not fucking new. It's just 2v2, but a little different. Okay, War Mode version 2 was just ganks, but you gave it a reward. This is a 40 to 50 player server giant map dedicated to PvP. That is brand new. That is quite literally as brand new as it gets. War Mode that's niggas ganking at Song Secret plus rewards. That's nothing new. Glads, at least that's a new map. That's a little different, but it's just 2v2s. We've already seen that. A giant 40 chat. Imagine 40 to 50 niggas fighting at once, bro. Imagine how crazy. It's like a battlefield. It's like literally Battlefield. You know, like Battlefield, like it's a fucking Battlefield. We've never seen that before. And I think people want to see it. Chat, would y'all try it out? Chat, if you and your buddies were like, yo, like, let's go try out like a PvP, let's go see like a 50 player server, a max of 50 players. I think niggas would try it out. Motherfucker, bro. Last thing we got was Battle Royale. That was actually unique and interesting. And guess what? It was fun. People fuck with Battle Royale. Chat, listen to me. Listen. People who are PvE heavy players, I guarantee you a lot of them are like, oh yeah, Battle Royale is not that bad. Yeah, it's cool. And guess what? There is no PvE in it. There is none. So I know that just off of that. When you know, back then, even then there was like a PvE/PvP player base, but when Battle Royale was leaked, everybody, and I mean everybody, was like, dude, but they need to drop Battle Royale. Oh, chat, Battle Royale was my most viewed stream ever. I had 10,000 viewers. 10,000, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I felt like a true streamer. That it was hype. It was hype. And I felt like a real true streamer that day because it was hype ass moments. It was fun. That was probably my best stream ever. That was top 1 stream I've ever done. I think that it's just like, it felt insane. And guess what? Were there any PvE events in that? No, nigga, no. So you can make PvP exciting. I don't like this argument where people are like, dude, what PvP? Nobody's asking for it. Nigga, we've seen niggas ask for PvP cons before. Give me a second. Sorry, I think I made like $1,000 off that stream. But yeah, like I'm saying, it's like, yes, bro, interesting new PvP content will get people excited. And see, chat, that's where balancing also matters a ton. I know a lot of people are like, dude, this stuff was just balancing, dude. Like, what the fuck? But that balancing is important so that when they introduce these PvP updates, it doesn't feel like you're going to get super cheesed. It doesn't feel like you're going to get just run to God cheesing. Do you see what I mean, right? Because I think that's important. When you put rewards behind PvP, right? Battle Royale, chat, if Battle Royale had rewards, people would be playing a lot different. But in general, right? A lot more people would be playing too, though. I think more people, if they had rewards behind PvP, a lot more people would also be playing Battle Royale. And it could be like very slight stuff like you know, every time you get a win, you get like a fucking Battle Royale medallion, right? For winning. You get a Battle Royale medallion for winning, right? And the idea is like, okay, you can spend the medallions in like a small shop near some like new island in Eastern or Etrian. And it's like, okay, and then you can like buy like a glider skin, like cosmetics, like something light, you know what I'm saying? But shit like that, you see what I mean? It's like people will, bro, chat. That's why I said the biggest thing about this game is that the game has a very fun and very smooth, in my opinion, base combat that feels good to fight with. It feels good to fight with, right? And because of the build variety and optimization you can do to make a build good, people enjoy min-maxing what they can do to make the strongest build possible. That's also the fun of it. And then on top of that, it's testing out that build in several different examples to see how it performs. That is what leads to all the things getting min-max and all the problems we have to do with balancing, right? But just that idea alone makes it very fun. And so if we offer a genuinely filled up, that's not a good way to say it, a genuinely fleshed out PvP medium, then it will add more people to trying out that process. A build that is good for Chime and good for ganks right now might not be that great for a 40 to 50 player battlefield. Did you see what I'm saying, right? So it's like, we don't know how it's going to change at PvP. We don't know what's going to end up happening. Who knows? Maybe there's like 10 niggas who pull up all with gravity field or some crate like the possibilities we don't really understand yet. So I think it's good that balancing tries to address shit like that, but also embraces that people are going to try different things, and they're going to try different things, and you have to prepare for that. But I think at the end of the day, if it's as simple as this, chat, it's this simple. War mode with PvP Luminant, just a brand new PvP Luminant giant Conquest Island. Add the Conquest rewards to the PvP Luminant, get Dex and KY, you know what I'm saying, and maybe a few other people to like really, you know, just for like a week or two, grind up a few rewards that are only obtainable there. And even then, have some like NPC quests related to that. Maybe add some specific things, maybe one even new gameplay aspect to it, right? And then on top of that, make sure that the actual rewards for winning that war mode is also pretty cool too. And make sure it's that it feels like it can feel fun at least. It feels chaotic. It feels different. After you fleshed out like that, I think there you go. You have your update. You know what I'm saying? They can maybe add even like, they could tie it like with a new oath or something like that too, or something like that. Warmonger. You know what I mean? Like a new oath, Warmonger. And the progression is as simple as getting kills fucking during war mode. You know what I'm saying? Like you love to kill. You love to slay. And like the Warmonger fucking oath is based off like you get stronger and you get like angrier and you feel bloodthirsty as you get kills, right? It's supposed to be like a snowball sort of oath. I'm just spitballing, but you see what I'm saying, right? It's very easy to think of like new ideas and new things you can try out. Oh yeah, or whatever, you get what I'm saying, right? Yada yada yada. War Master, sure. You get what I'm saying, right, chat? How's stream been, young man? It's been chilling. That's why they should somewhat intertwine both sides into the new limit instead of making it one-sided. Feels like a lazy excuse to not finish Conquest, gang. Conquest. I think honestly, War Mode is a lot easier to finish than Conquest. Conquest is complicated. It is complicated. You know what the issue is? When they try to intertwine PvE into Conquest, right? The more mobs there were in Conquest, the laggier it got. And so what ended up initially happening was every wave of minions would spawn. It'd be like 4 to 5 minions in one wave. But that lagged the game so fucking badly, even for a small 6v6 Conquest map. The biggest, by far, by a large margin, was just the fact that there was PvE spawning. So when I mean PvP only Luminant, that doesn't mean I wouldn't want to see. If we could, I'd love to see it. But the reason why it's PvP Luminant only is for optimization purposes and for the fact that the only way you can achieve a 40 to 50 player server without insane lag is to cut off the events in PvE, because that is the biggest, and yes, I mean biggest, source of lag by far. Why do you think they were able to do 50 player battle royale? Because the PvE and the events were turned off. So I think it's time to take that idea of having something as big potentially as a battle royale server and apply it to currently existing builds, which we have never seen before. And it offers a brand new perspective of gameplay, right? In general, who's going to be, it could even offer a fucking new origin in that bitch. You progress in the fucking war mode fucking Luminant. You see what I mean? It's like different from Voidwalker, where like Voidwalker, you can progress with PvE, and you can progress by just gripping a motherfucker. And most of the time, here's the truth. Most Voidwalkers, they don't fucking progress with PvP, nigga. They just go ahead, head to Arrow to do the jobs. And then they have the Voidwalker TP for Voidwalker ganks. That's the truth. But Warmonger Origin, it's straight hands. You can only prog in the War Mode PvP Luminant. Now that's for PvP heavy niggas. You said expansion of ideas. Or like Voidwalker, the idea is, chat, with a Voidwalker, you want to take advantage of those PvE niggas. You want to run into niggas who can't really throw hands because you get more XP. But guess what? Right now, as it stands, even though you can do both, most motherfuckers ain't PvPing with Voidwalker. They're not even doing that. They're just going Voidwalker just for the fucking TP, for ganks in the end game anyway. So unless they do a major change to Voidwalker and make it to where, or they nerf jobs for Voidwalker and make it to where the main way is being able to, Voidwalker at least has like the aspect of it, you're like in the world and you're like, feel like you want to feel a little sneaky, you want to jump people. For the Warmonger Origin, that bitch could be like straight, you know what you're getting into. It's straight hands. You're probably going to get fucked up. It's probably damn near impossible to progress there. It's for the true PvP heavy niggas who think they're like that and think they can get prog off that. It's you fighting other PvP motherfuckers. And a lot of time, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Here's the truth. A lot of time, unless you're trying to def skank people for loot, or just because you want to, right? You def skank PvP motherfuckers just for like the fucking score, or you do it just because you're progging on Voidwalker or just whatever, right? A lot of the time, most PvP motherfuckers probably won't find that much enjoyment in that. A lot of PvP motherfuckers want to fight other PvP motherfuckers. What do you think niggas do? Chime. Because fighting a random nigga progressing or a fucking motherfucker with Enforcer's Axe Astral is not as satisfying as fighting somebody else who is into PvP and is winning. If you try and find a gank, right? If you try and find people who want to fight, it can be genuinely tough to find people who want to fight. Motherfuckers who are in fucking the Void Eye ganking. Or you have to look at Song Seeker. There's like 2 or 3 places, right? So I know a lot of people are like, dude, why are they separating? The truth is, right? The truth really is that there was already a sort of separation to begin with when it came down to ganking, because a lot of times people aren't just going to start ganking a group of 5. There might be people who do it, but I say for the majority of people, they're not going to find that much enjoyment in it. I don't. I want to fight other PvP motherfuckers, and that's what happens a lot of time. Take a look at the fucking Deepwoken, the DCL, the World Cup that they just added a emote for. That's PvP niggas who are comp fighting other PvP comp niggas. They're not going to get enjoyment out of fighting the 500 elo PvE freshie. See what I mean, right? And so that's what I'm trying to reinforce. So it's like, yes, I understand people are like, dude, this is just going to split PvP and PvE more. But to begin with, understand this. Because in the game currently, there is no content that reinforces PvPvE. And that, I think, won't be something that happens until something like Layer 3 or something like Void Sea. You understand what I'm saying, chat? You understand what I'm saying? Because then it's like, that's where you can combine PvE and PvE motherfuckers fighting together, because it's specifically designed for that. At the moment, there's no real reason to interact with one side or the other. There really isn't. And without a clear defined reason, people are like, well, you're split. And I do think that there needs to be less of a split, but there really is no clear defined reason. PvE motherfuckers, what reason is there for you to PvP? When you're PvEing, the best loot you can get is by PvEing. The best loot. You have no reason to try and attempt PvP. You're not going to interact with. The only time you're interacting with PvE motherfuckers is when they interact with you. That's not, you see what I'm saying, right? PvP motherfuckers, they have the free will. They can choose what they want to do. They can attack PvP motherfuckers. It's up to them, really, right? But I think a lot of times, like I just mentioned for the past 2-3 minutes, there's not much enjoyment out of that unless you're getting loot off the nigga, right? So a lot of times, they're not even interacting. In my opinion, a good way to get that interaction for all general is adding in a PvPvE or a general. It includes both sides of the audience. Content, new content that includes everybody. Trying to force niggas right now to push them together. It's like, well, you gank that PvE build so they can. Bro, most PvE motherfuckers are gonna run. They're not gonna engage. If you look at it right now, what do you think when they lowered the fucking Death's health thing to 50%? A bunch of people were like, bro, they didn't really want to fight. And because A, there's no reason for them to fight, and there's nothing pushing them to want to learn how to fight. What is there to get from PvP, chat? What is there to get from specifically PvP only? There is nothing encouraging people to try out. So if you have these PvE motherfuckers, why would they do it? Why? You can get the best shit from PvE. There's nothing exclusive to PvP. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing that PvE has like really good stuff that you can only get through PvE. That's how it should be too. There should be exclusive things for PvE and exclusive things for PvP. And then there's PvPvE. It's like a triangle, the trifecta. You know what I'm saying, right? You can get loot from all 3 things. You have some where it's like PvE majority. Yeah, you're gonna need like the PvE squad. Then you have the PvP squad. If you want this specific enchant, you can only get it in the War Mode Luminant. And then you have PvPvE. If you want this content, you got to go to Layer 3. You got to go to the Southern Luminant. That's where everything comes together. Where it's like you could be fighting a monster 1 second, and then a player tries to steal it next. You got to prepare for both. And I think it's not bad to have like a try thing, because if they end up trying to combine builds together, it will feel less bad when a PvE player has to engage in PvP and the PvP player has to engage in PvE. They're just not even content to reinforce that yet. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Stay with me now. They need a better onboarding for PvP. I agree. I do agree. I think even like I just said, it's like it's for ego, or it's for like the sake to want to win, right? Or if you enjoy the combat, you'll do it. And Deepwoken is very good at making people enjoy the combat, right? But I think there's not enough opportunities or enough different stuff to get people to try things out. And so hopefully that's what the PvP Luminant can bring. That's my hope. That there's exclusive content in the PvP Luminant that are like, wait, what? Yo. Wait, they added what? You can up. Whoa. I didn't. Okay, maybe I should. It might not happen immediately, but slowly over time, right? By having these like exclusive things that are like PvP specific or Luminant only, right? You might be able to convert a few at a time, those PvE players, to maybe invest a little into PvP, and hopefully the same from PvP only motherfuckers, which are a lot less. You know why there's a lot less? Because guess what, chat? We can look at the post right now. A lot of people don't mind doing PvE specific shits, right? A lot of people don't mind doing PvE specific shits. You can take a look. Like I said, look at this poll. right? This poll is a good example, right? So I'd say right now you have 50% of the player base prefers doing PvP, but you have 90 to 80% of the player base who prefers PvE, right? You have the both, right? But I'm just saying there's like a heavy majority of people who prefer to, they like the PvE, right? My thing is like, I think it's as simple as PvP at the moment doesn't really have anything exclusive or anything new to offer besides what people have been doing for the past 3 years. Chime gank. That's chat. Chime gank on everything. That's been the past 3 years of PvP. Besides people doing like their own exclusive leagues like DCL and their own spit. But at the end of the day, chime gank. And so it's not bad to see maybe an expansion upon that with Battle Royale. And if you noticed, why do you think Battle Royale was a hit? It offered a new medium of PvP that expanded upon something we haven't seen before, right? Adding new gameplay mechanics, adding new stuff to it. Now, again, it's not replayed at the moment, but I've never once heard a nigga go, man, I hate Battle Royale. Have you heard any motherfucker say that? I've heard, man, Chime fucking, I hate Chime. I hate ganks. But not once. I don't think I've seen anyone really say, man, fuck, I ain't trying to do fuck Battle Royale. I've never seen that. Never seen that chat. Have you? Because I've never seen that. Some people might dislike it, but I've never seen as much hatred for Battle Royale as I have shit like Chime and Ganks. There's a lot of people who hate that shit. Yo, chat. Chill, chat, chill. Yeah, I think that's actually a fair thing to bring out. I do think with big 50 player servers, you have to ask yourself, how do you limit people from being able to flood with their guilds? I think that is a very valid concern. I do think that's a valid concern. I think at the bare minimum, a lot of people didn't like the update they did with what's it called? With them splitting up loot. But honestly, I think that when it comes down to it, they're trying to make it to where, damn, do I have any water left? I do. So you're biased in this because you're Flood Guild? Bro, I am. My guild is just my group of friends, bro. I think that's a fair amount of people. Bounce Hog, good luck in stream. Yeah, I'll see you later. I think for a lot of people, like, a lot of people have, like, guilds where, like, it's just their friend group, right? And I think trying to cater the idea that, generally speaking, I think the best version of War Mode is the version of War Mode where you basically reward the people who are those friend group players, right? I think that's solo players, you can try. I don't think it's a bad idea to like give a chance to solo players, but generally like the 3 to 5 player range, in my opinion, that is like the prime. Like if you're doing PvP Luminant, right, it should be like you and your 2 buddies or you and your 3 buddies, right? I think that's way better. It's like group of friends, like small group of friends, or even 2 players, even like a duo should be able to like put in some work. Right, where like I think you should be punished if you're trying to bring like a large flood guild. And I'm trying to think of some solutions. It just depends on how the War Mode Luminant works, because generally speaking, right, well, if you have 8 people, it's way easier to win and get the Xing. But based on how the loot system works, I think I can think about think of a workaround. I do think I can think of a workaround. But like I said, I think that is a very, very valid point to bring up, because it's like, bro, I don't want to deal with like 20 niggas and it's like me and my 2 homies. Though that does sound fun if you can boss raid, but like in the game's current state, whoa, you see what I mean, right? So I think I don't know. It just depends. I think it's like it's hard to think of something, because even then, chat, like even if you introduce like some hard set limit to like, okay, you can only bring 5 people in your guild. Guess what? You bring 5 people in one guild, 5 people in another. Now you have 10, and you guys are all friended on Roblox, so you guys are allied anyway. Or you use Valve Allegiance. See what I mean, right? So like there's already ways you can get around shit like that. Do you think they should have dual attunement weapons? I do think they should. I think it's impossible to limit because, as you said, there's guild limit. People will always have allies. Yeah, I do think that's an issue. I think what they try to do with war mode to try and tackle that did get a lot of people to stop playing war mode too. So it's tough. I think it's tough, but I think they fumbled. Where they fumbled is by adding the limit at 1 player instead of it starting at 4 players. Do you see what I mean, right? I think that's where they kind of fumbled. Um, so I think that's like the biggest flaw facing this mode. What if instead of adding a limit, they add an incentive not to bring a ton of buddies? They already do that though. But here's the thing. I think at the moment, what ends up happening, right? Let me tell you the flaws with current war mode. At the moment, it starts dividing the loot, I think, from 1 player down, right? And if it doesn't, it's as simple as this. You need to have it to where, and I think this is, regardless, it is a must. They need to keep the 1 guild can only win system, right? On top of that, they need to make it to where only like, I think a better way to input it would be like, you would have like a table of people, right? You have a table of people, and the first like 4, it would be like a max of 5, maybe like a max of 5 players, right? If you have a 6th or 7th player that joins after, right, or 8th or 9th, those guys, if they join the server, they are not getting a war mode loot. They get no war mode loot. They get nothing. Where like, if you have 4 or 5 people, those guys get the loot, right? And so the idea would be is that it would be equal from 1 to like 4 or 5 players, but once you start trying to bring like 6, 7, 8 people, those guys don't get loot. So it's like, in a way, by those guys not getting loot, at least it's some way to offload some of the like chance of people joining up on giant flood guilds. But even then, you might just have like people who just want to boost their friends. So I think there needs to be another thing there in place. It needs to be something there on top of that, because even then it's like, okay, I have 8 friends, maybe we can just switch out. Like, it's their time. Like, I'm bringing 10 people, these 5 guys get their loot, now the next 5 people get their loot, and they can just auto win. But at the end of the day though, it's also, you have to realize that it's also like fucking, it's like, if it's a 40-50 player server, who knows what can go on. It's so massive that it could be like, even if you have 8 people, it doesn't matter, because like there could be like a god group of like 4 people who are killing like a bunch of like weaker people. Like, you see, it's hard to imagine the issue when we don't really know how a 40 or 50 player limit really ends up working or happening. Yeah, maybe they could do that too, where like, yeah, I think, yeah, I agree. So like, make it harder to win war mode if you have more than 4 players, right? But don't start, I think they started like making it like easier if you have 1 or 2 people. No. It should start like at bare minimum, 4 players should be like, okay, you have a squad, right? If you have a squad of people, that should be like where the loot, that's where it starts dividing points, right? So 4 players, so 1 to 4 is the same. Then 5 players, it's divided a little bit. 6, it's heavily divided. 7, it gets more divided. And those people, not only does it get divided, but only like the first 5 people in the server get loot. So it's like multiple things. Like, not only is it harder for you and your 8 or 9 or 10, or even if you bring like 15 people, if you bring 15 people, you're going to have to put in maybe 4 or 5 times the work that a group of 4 should put in. And that's how it should be. If me and my group of 4 or 5 get like 2 grips on a 15 guild play, I also think what could happen is like, it could be like a multiple things, right? Like, for example, right? Let's actually write down what I'm gonna write down like a little list. I'm gonna write down a little list for y'all. Okay, so let's just write down like anti-flood mechanics for war mode version 2. All right. So let's start off with past 4 players, points earned is less. All right. Then past 5 players, people don't. Yes, that's right. Oh, okay, I can't do that. Whatever. Don't get chests/loot from winning. Past or it's like, it's lessened. Maybe it could be like 6 players, but anyway. And then points earned against people in guilds past like 5 players is increased, used heavily per player past 5. Right. So like, do you see what I mean, chat? Like, it's you once you really put on like the fact that like, yo, it's like 4 or 5 people tops, right? Or like if you have like 6 people, then like it really starts to like stagger out. Like, yo, like it's gonna be you can win easier, right? But like now there's like a lot of like drawbacks that start to happen. So that way it keeps it very limited. They can increase it to like 6 if they feel like it's not enough. But like at the same time, it's like then hopefully something like this will be like, okay, now instead of it just being like 1 massive guild, 2 somewhat massive guilds, and then you have like a few random people, right? You have like a what's it called? You have like a bunch. The hope would be like it's a bunch of different guilds boxing. Like in a 40, 50 player server, it's like 8 or 9 or 10 guilds. I think that would be great. Or like 11 guilds, like a bunch of people, right? So like I said, hopefully this is like the biggest. These are some big anti-flood mechanics. Some people might be like, dude, what? But I have 7 people in my guild I want to play. Hey, bro, lock in on that, bro. I mean, you guys can swap out. You know what I mean, right? Y'all can swap out. First 4 you guys get loot. First 5 guys get loot, and then now next time the other guys get loot. You can choose maybe who gets the loot there. So yeah, I think it's that simple, right? Just make it a lot harder for them to enjoy the loot and also harder for them to win and give players an advantage. I think that's a big thing as well. Give players an advantage to if I kill a flood guild of 10, I should be getting way more points, especially if I'm going to go to like 4 or 3 people. I should be getting way more points for killing somebody in that massive guild. That's just my thoughts. It should be incremental, not just a large amount. Yeah, it could be incremental too. It can be like, okay, if you kill somebody with 6 players in their guild, it's like 10 extra points. 7, 25. 8 is like 40. You know, it like increases by a ton. Actually, that wasn't incremental, but yeah, actually, no, it is. So like, if you kill somebody, if there's 20 people in a server and you kill one of those people, it should give you like 400 points. It should take like it's like, fuck, bro, how'd you die? You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be very heavy against flooding. And I think it'll work. I don't think people would play regardless, specifically due to how cancer the game is right now with teams like Thunder Draw, Frostdraw, Flamethrower being unnerfed, and Godrow kits. Unnerfed, the thing is, like, there's a lot of people will point at as like super busted. I think at the end of the day, I think it just comes down to they just try to keep up the good balancing. They try to keep the good balancing, and I think they try to nerf Mage. I think Mage is honestly up next on the line. Is War Mode a time thing or last guild standing? War Mode, honestly, they could have different game modes, but the idea is that War Mode version 2 is like the same as version 1, right? But just like with many more players and a change up to the rules. Because War Mode, when it first came out, hella people were playing it. But a lot of people were complaining about flooding. But then they did too much, like the flood mechanics also kind of killed the loot, right? And on top of that, in War Mode currently, there's nothing exclusive, right? There's not everything you get in War Mode you can get in PvE. So no one's gonna do War Mode, right? I think having like specific things you can only get in War Mode would help increase the replayability a ton as well. Can you push for more birds nerfs? Yes, I did. There's like 2 more things that birds need nerfs. So just 2 final things. It's this simple, chat. I'll find it to you. I'll show you it. These are the last 2 changes needed. They've already done it. They just need to fix it. It's that simple. They need it's fixes. It's not even balancing, right? Let me look it up. Okay, take a look. Right? Take a look. Take a look at this. Take a peek. Peep. Look at this. The following mantras now only start ticking down once you hit the ground. Right? First, what needs to happen is that they make it apply for fainting reverse flame leap. And even in general, reverse flame leap. They need to make it apply to that. That's the first thing. They need to have Heavenly Wind count as well, because Heavenly Wind doesn't count if you miss it. It counts as hitting the ground. And so that's how people use it. They use Heavenly Wind, they miss the Heavenly Wind, and it counts as them hitting the ground. So it's 2 fixes. And then finally, Star Kindred, what's it called? They fixed this. Look at this. Star Kindred wing dashes no longer give extra height in the depths. This doesn't work. Did they not fix it? Oh, did they? If they did, then okay, that's good to go. And then I don't know if this works. I think it does, but yeah, I think this doesn't work. And Flame Leap and Heavenly Wind are like a big contributors. You can infinite fly with just those 3 alone. First, reverse Flame Leap. Did they fix it? Let me look. Fix. No, that's this update, right? It is. That sounds like stuff you should be putting in tester bugs, not yapping about it. Bro. Nigga, I bento dex this, bro. Oh, hey. Oh, this works? So are motherfuckers still able to fly? Horizontal? No, it needs to be vertical. It needs to be vertical. But anywho, are motherfuckers, even with this, are they still able to fly? Oh, I think it's like, I don't know if they have I'll go test that out. If they did do that, then oh, you're talking about Glacial Arc into the Gale Lunge. These niggas will do anything to fling themselves or fly. Don't worry, that will be addressed one day. And I have a fix. The fix is simple. If you hit the Glacial Arc, it becomes destructible. That way, instead of it being like you fling off of it, it will hit and then like stop the mantra because it's destructible. You can hit it now. Hopefully that should be a somewhat of a fix to change up the shits. But if you guys have any bird build clips, please send it to me. Please send it to me. But I think the Glacial Arc Ice Lance thing, hopefully that is like, instead of it being like they continue the momentum when they hit the Glacial Arc, instead it'll be like, and you know, like the little rock crumble sound that plays when you hit something that's destructible, hopefully it'll be like, it'll hit that and then it will stop from them from going up. They won't fix Glacial Arc because it's a speedrun strat. No, they will fix it. You know what they do? They keep it to layer 2 only. Layer 2, at this point, layer 2 is like the speed run game mode. You know what I mean? And honestly, I don't mind that. But like I said, they've been looking for, I think, a fix, and I think that could be the easiest fix. But yeah, I do think that probably needs to fix. Yeah, I think there's people who are like, the craziest thing I see though, don't ruin speedrunning. It won't be removed in layer 2. Chat, it's simple. It won't be removed in layer 2. Strong Leap and Glacial Arc, now that might need a specific fix. I'm not gonna lie. That one might need a specific fix. That one, I don't know. But chat, keep in mind that all the stuff, I know people are like, dude, but layer 2 speedrunning though. Chat, all the changes they do, most of them almost never affect layer 2. They keep things specifically in layer 2 because they know that's where like the speedrunners do shit. So that's at least the good thing. What's the Strong Leap Glacial Arc? You go under, you kind of like make like an arc with Glacial Arc. You go under the Strong Leap and it's like, shoo, you like fling yourself by using Strong Leap and it flings you forward. Glacial Arc, bro. Such a problematic mantra. But after those fixes, hopefully that will be the end of super cheese like mobility, right? And it's not like I don't think all mobility should be over, but I think mobility has had its reign for long enough, man. It's been like a year or a year and a half. It's been like a year or a year and a half, bro. Mobility has had its reign for long enough. They also need they need to nerf some of the anti-runner things too, because I don't think not being able to run should exist, but there's a lot of very strong anti-runner mechanics that might make it literally impossible to escape. So it's not like it's a one-sided thing where it's like, okay, running is gone, you can never run again. No, like running should still, if you manage to actually outmaneuver motherfuckers who are chasing you, right, by using like terrain, or maybe you're one with mobility matchup, or you have high agility. Like now, high agility might actually be important instead of just being Jet Striker. You have high agility, right? If you're actually able to outmaneuver motherfuckers, then you should be able to escape. But like, there's things like air counter. I think Windforge can be a little oppressive sometimes, right? Air Force, if like it hits you from behind and a wayward comes, your progression is lost. Like, there's a lot of anti-running things that potential will be very strong and also needs to be toned down. So chat, balancing never like, it's not like, okay, now it's gone, but no, it's like, it's both things. You should still be able to run and escape. You know what I'm saying, right? That's my big thing. Yeah, and Flame Scourge, holy shit, it's problematic, bro. Flame Scourge as well. The problem is it's literally instant, bro. It's that mantra needs. It is, yeah. I think the only thing left that will probably be fixed is probably teleportation. Because I think people complain about teleportation. It's not like you won't be able to run away with teleportation, but you know what they're going to do? I think it was Corey's idea. It's going to be like Gate. You know, like when you like Gate in Rogue Lineage and it leaves a portal for you to follow. Teleportation might be the same, like similar to Camwe. Like you can follow people's teleportation. Because like a lot of time, you know what happens, right? A real devious teleportation players, they'll like kind of edge in and edge out the circle. You don't know if are they going in, are they not going in? Then sometimes you hop in there and then they're like they step out and then you get sent forward. Or like they know the timing of their teleportation, they vent you out last second and then you get pushed out, they TP away. Where now if it's continuous, like the teleportation is continuous, oh, they can't do that shit no more. There's two ideas. A, make it continuous. If they're in the TP, it's continuous. They can follow it. Second thing is that even if they don't go in, right? So they use teleportation and the portal's there and they like stay out of it because like they might just run in last second. If they enter their own teleportation portal, it extends how long the portal stays for another 5 seconds. That way they can't just like trick you by like they put it down, right? You're fighting them, you vent them, and in the last second you hop in the teleportation, you get away. Make it to where it extends for like five more seconds. And now it's like it's a matter of actually because you can still escape. 5 seconds is sometimes I can pass like this. But it's allowing it to not be like an instantaneous, like, well, you missed the TP and you don't know the TP timing, right? So you're gone, right? Now it's a matter of if somebody's actually close to you, right? Then, you know, you're not going to be able to easily escape with TP because a lot of people they'll use TP in the middle of a fucking battle and they'll be able to just event somebody off last second or they'll go to a cheese spot. There's a lot of real cheese with that where now it's more like if you actually manage to gain some distance and then TP away, then it's that should be an escape. You escaped, right? Because if 5 seconds pass and they're not able to catch up to you because you outmaneuvered them, right? Or you hide somewhere and then TP away, there you go. They TP'd away. Like you're not going to be able to catch that. So we're gutting boss rating, bro. It's not just something that's used in boss rating, bro. Boss rating is its own separate thing. I think a lot of people will like bring up arguments as to why things should exist because like, well, dude, I use it for boss rating, but it's like backwards logic. It's like, dog, you know the niggas your boss rating can also use that too, right? Like, are we like sitting here thinking that well, it's only for me, nigga? If I'm boss rating somebody, they can use it too to escape. And guess what? Now my grip is gone. I get 1v4'd. Like, what are you talking about? You see what are you talking? We're gutting boss rating. The niggas can use it. It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. If anything, at least from what I say, I think the biggest issue with boss rating has always been swapping out and people escaping. You're killing, right? And a lot of times, you know what happens? All return, you TP away. All return, you TP away. Now the motherfucker you chase down after boss rating is gone. At least now you can at least somewhat catch up to that, bro. If anything, like I said, it's been a bigger issue that motherfuckers who you try to boss rate have all these link striders or all this mobility, and it's very difficult to. It's a two-way street in my opinion. Another thing is portals and Voidheart got people timing on that lock. Oh yeah, portals. Honestly, chat, I think honestly, Voidheart fighting should not exist. I think it shouldn't exist. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what y'all think, but for me, look, I have a Voidwalker Star too, but like it's super annoying when I'm like on a deep bounce slot and my friends are ganking in Voidheart and they're like, dude, there's 7 of them in Voidheart, and it's like, nigga, I can't do anything. I can't go to this spot. I can't do anything, right? It's super annoying. That's where a lot of ganks take place, and it's fucking awful. They need to do something about that, bro. It's like, bro, like the fighting should be in a place that's accessible for everybody. I think that's like a big thing, right? But it's so easy to find people in Voidheart though. That's what makes it nice. Yeah, but it's like it's literally like it's like origin only ganking, and it's like, dog, are you serious? If you could actually go to Void Eye manually, at least through another method, that'd be interesting. But you can't. So it's literally like if your friends are there and you're not that origin, you're out the fight, and it's really annoying. On top of that, all the dumbass Voidheart cheeses and the portals, it's like at that point, just make it to where you have to fight in the actual overworld. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, dog. Bro, like, come on, man. And a lot of people, it's like a majority of ganks too right now. It should be a safe zone. It makes sense with the powers of that woman in there. I don't know. I think the devs don't want to make it like a super safe area, right? And I get that, but it's like, bro, it's literally everybody, like a ton of people fight there. Not everybody, but you get what I'm saying. It's just inconvenient. I'd say it's convenient, but also inconvenient. All right. Anyway, I think for now, yeah, they don't want safe zones. So yeah. But anyway, I think that's gonna be it for now. I think I'm gonna go make a video talking about the Rune Slayer situation. Is Rune Slayer dead? I don't know if people care about hearing my yap about it, but the Rune Slayer situation is crazy. Even then, though, is there any crazy deep videos? That W rank video was pretty cool. Anywho, all right, guys, yeah. Probably gonna be heading out then. Yeah, maybe I'll make a video on this. I don't know. I'll see. Rinso's gonna have its dedicated fan base. I don't think I understand how to starve people. Maybe it might. I'm not saying it won't, but at the end of the day, that dedicated audience needs to be fed, and I think PvE audiences are harder to feed than like a PvP audience. But and like I said, we'll see. All right, guys, be heading out. You guys have a great day. Peace.